Hi, it's Rick with Anne-Fitten Glenn from Oskar Blues Brewery. We're at the Brevard location, based in Longmont, Colorado. About a year or so, you began brewing here in Brevard, and you guys have come a long way in that 1 year. So, new tanks arriving. How many we got now? How many beers are we making? How many states are we servicing from Brevard, North Carolina?
We like to service states. We are currently making our 7 flagship beers, all here in Brevard. We have 27 tanks. That's with our 5 new 200 barrel tanks that we are just getting in, that is going to fill this brewery up and bring us to capacity in this space. Although, of course, we could always go off the back and add some more. But currently we are sending cans that say Brevard, North Carolina on them to between 15 and 18 East Coast states, as far west as Ohio. Ohio is kind of split up between Colorado and North Carolina depending on demand. But it's all demand driven, which is kind of exciting. I mean, we had no idea we were going to grow this quickly. When we started brewing on 12-12-12, our goal for the first year of production was about 35,000 barrels of beer. We are now at about 45,000 at this facility. The brewery as a whole just hit 100,000 barrels for the first time between the 2 breweries, which is very exciting.
It's a lot of beer.
It's a lot of beer.
So your New Year's Eve party, which is coming up, throwing a big whiz-bang affair here at the brewery.
Not quite as big as last year. Last year we had what we called our grand opening hootenanny here, and it was
I remember being here right before then, and you had the room because the tanks were here. You had tons of room.
The warehouse was mostly empty. We did not have any of the tanks in at that time, nor did we have those big can stacks.
Don't poke the cans.
Don't poke the cans.
Don't poke the cans. No poking.
And I'm not really big on signs or rules, but that's one that...
There's a no poking sign.
Yeah, no poking. So... God,
No poking.
you're annoying. You're like my 12-year-old son.
No poking. So don't poke the cans. New Year's Eve party.
New Year's Eve party. So what we're going to do this year is, last year we had about 1,500 people here, which was crazy, but really fun. We're selling a few less tickets this year. We're selling about 700 tickets, and we're going to wall in the patio out there. We're going to move all the kegs out of the way, wall in the patio, build a stage. We've got the Hack and Saw Boys headlining and Pathway Handle Band, both of which are like awesome, kind of Americana, rock, great live shows, and we're going to have all kinds of great beer.
And the New Year's Eve party almost serves as kind of a 1-year anniversary party as well.
It is, and we weren't sure if we're going to do it again, but so many people came last year, and particularly there wasn't a whole lot else going on New Year's Eve in Brevard, and people were like, please have another party, and we're like, well, what the hell?
Okay. Now, going back to the original decision to locate in Brevard, the Longmont location, the original, what were, let's say, the 1 or 2 big factors? What were the big ones? Why Brevard?
Why Brevard? Well, one, because the owner of our company, Dale Katechis, loves Brevard and has been mountain biking here for years, and he was not willing to travel many places outside of Colorado, but he was willing to travel to Brevard, North Carolina. Now, from a more practical standpoint, not having to ship beer in refrigerated trucks all the way across the country makes sense, because we do insist that our beer be distributed in refrigerated trucks. So having a brewery here on the East Coast with easy access to I-40, so we can take that beer up and down the coast, is ultimately a cost-efficient way to do it. It's going to take us a while to get there.
And here we are in Brevard making a fresh beer, celebrating your 1-year anniversary with a New Year's Eve party.
Yes.
And part of the great Western North Carolina beer scene, and hopefully for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy to be here. We've had a great first year, as I said, growing faster than we anticipated, and we're hoping to be here for a long time.
Anne-Fitten Glenn with Oskar Blues Brewery in Brevard. Cheers.
Cheers.